The more I gaze into this community, the more I'm starting to realize the entire VTubing community is just one giant pain in the ass with a messy history. Honestly, with things as it is and how it stands, I've seen a lot of people say they are getting really tired of the corporate VTubing debuts, which I'm not gonna lie, I barely pay attention to it, and even when I do see it, yes, I do have to kinda agree. They do spam them out like a can of spam. But to be perfectly honest, it's corporate. They're gonna do anything they want to, and pretty much the moment you monetize something into some type of hobby, of course, people are gonna go ahead and just try to spam and kill you to death with the same material. And not to be, mean on corporate VTubers or anything, I don't mind them, but a lot of them do kind of be all over the place, and there is a lot of them to the point I couldn't even pay attention to them even if I tried. Like Hollow Stars with their new, Ian side. I think they're probably wonderful gentlemen that is, doing this VTubing stuff. If I'm being perfectly honest with you, I could not care. I really couldn't. One, there's already a lot of people in Hololive as it is, so just adding more people to it is going to give me, less time to want to actually divide my attention, which I already don't even pay attention to Hololive like that as it is. Maybe subscribe to them, but I don't even watch their streams. Maybe just to see what they're doing. That's about it. Also, when you look at the corporate scene, they take a lot away, from the indies, obviously. Like, a lot of people that is in the corporate scene are like three different things that people care about. They're either trendsetters, people that has been trying to kill the game and has killed the game and is doing very, very well. Then you also have people that comes from their own independent scene, and then they kind of rise into the ranks with their own company. Or you have people that kind of is known for their history and then basically just do even more crazy shit that adds on to that history and a long list of things that they're going to do. So there's a lot of things, honestly, and obviously the main side of the audience when it comes to VTubing is definitely going to pay attention to the corporate side of things, because that's where all the main people is, that's where all the money kind of is, and that's where you're gonna get more better stuff when it comes to the VTubing side of the community, which absolutely downplays the hell out of indies. And not saying that there isn't any good indies that is out there. There's plenty of good indie people that is out there, mainly on the female side. Male side, not so much. There hasn't really been anybody that has really been a trendsetter on the male side of the indie VTubing scene. I'll even dare to say this: there hasn't been really a trendsetter on the current female side of the VTubing community. It sounds brutal as hell, but it's true though, because there really just haven't been anybody. Like, yes, you have Bayo, and you have like Pikami, and you have like so many other people, but at the same time, a lot of them, even though they are indie, and yes, they have tons of people that know them, they still aren't trendsetters. They haven't done anything crazy like, a lot of people in Hololive has, or a lot of people in VShojo has with a lot of stuff they've been pulling. There hasn't been like really anybody on both sides that has, done something immaculately crazy to really show off for the indies. And really, I know a lot of indie VTubers also get jealous of the corporate side of VTubing, where they're like, oh, F these guys because they just have everything. They're literally giving shit. But at the same time, you gotta realize, everybody kind of played themselves with this whole VTubing thing. Like, remember when the indies and how VTubing first started, and how everybody was trying to be like friends and buddies and all this type of stuff, and then that completely went to a horrible hellfire that even Satan didn't want to touch? That's essentially what happened. And pretty much when it comes down to things, people kept screwing people over, kept being cutthroat, keep coming in with drama, keep just starting nonsense and all this other type of thing. And so many people has talked so much shit about the indies and badmouth it, to the point that, yeah, a lot of people do not pay attention to the indies. And you know what the wild part is too? A lot of those people that were VTubers from last year or whatever ain't VTubers no more. Half of the people that caused a lot of the problems ain't even VTubers no more, which is some nonsense. And then you lead the indies with a bunch of stupidity that they have to try to clean up on, and then try to get somewhere with, even though the general public view of the indies is absolute dog water. So it's not necessarily going to be an easy time for an indie VTuber to come through and do some nice things. It's very hard, especially for an indie male VTuber to come through and do some nice things, all because of the past precedent of things that has been set. Indie VTubers cause nothing but drama, they are trash, and they are assholes to one another. And that's essentially what people see. Corporate side, not so much. Everybody seems to be fun. And actually with the whole friendships and, you know, buddy and cute things, as you know, the VTubers community once first started on and was supposed to be about. It just isn't that anymore, and that's why probably a lot of people like to see the corporate people. That's probably, in my opinion, probably the major reason. Whatever audience that the indies could have had when it comes to the general public has completely evaporated from the indies, and then only has gone forward to, you know, Hololive or Niji Sanji or Shoujo or whatever maybe minor smaller company that has, you know, their own set of VTubers. Again, indies kind of played themselves, honestly, when it comes to things. And again, the shitty part is a lot of those indie people that cause the drama ain't even VTubers no more, and they kind of just dipped off and left. So they just basically ruined a whole thing where people could really have benefit from it, and now we can't do anything really too much with it because people already has in their minds what VTubers are good and what type of VTubers aren't good. You know, it really does suck, honestly. So not only do the corporate companies go out their way to basically have and host a bunch of VTubers to the point you get sick of them and kind of getting tired of, you know, seeing them debut constantly over and over again, but you also have to realize that the indies kind of screwed themselves over with people that doesn't even belong or even exist in the community anymore. And it's really shitty. Then we kind of come back to the same circle of questions. How the hell do an indie VTuber make it then? How do they find their audience? Who is the audience of indie VTubers? And what do indie VTubers actually do? That's kind of like the biggest couple of questions that probably the general audience would ask about the indie side. And to be perfectly honest, there is kind of no definitive answer. There is none, honestly. You can make it, definitely. Anybody has a chance to make it as anything, but truth of the matter is it's hell of a lot harder because of a lot of older people that kind of come through and, you know, did what they did. So it's gonna be much harder to actually try to, you know, succeed at becoming a VTuber. Much less it's even gonna be a lot more harder competing against companies with tons of money and tons of funds that they can use for each of their stars, which is something a VTuber that's on the indies absolutely cannot have, and probably don't even get to, you know, have the ability to do. A lot of VTubers on the indies don't even have the money to stream. A lot of them be doing everything by their phone, and from someone that used to do everything by their phone, I can tell you it is not fun. We got some real deal broke tubers out here, my ass included. Really, this video is just kind of like a what happened and why kind of things are the way they are. Much less it is like a kind of a, I want this to be somewhat of a wake-up call for a lot of indie VTubers to kind of just start to be like, yeah, we got through some bad stuff. A lot of people that used to be in this community pretty much set it up for a downfall. However, this is the time where we get our asses back up, kick it into high gear, and actually whoop some corporate VTuber ass. Not saying we need to go to war with them, obviously, but just be as good as they are. If we're gonna absolutely destroy it at this VTuber game and absolutely, you know, be on par with those corporate people, then definitely we need to go and bust ass. We need to go out there and just do what we can, because we might be separate on our own, but together we can be potentially strong. Probably even better than Hololive or any other company that is existing out there, but you gotta believe that it can happen. Believe in the team, and that's pretty much what we can do. How can you support your indie VTuber, or how can indie VTubers kind of, you know, rise up in a way? Indie VTubers can make a rap cypher song, honestly. And it could be like lower ranking indie VTubers with like big name indie VTubers. You know, everybody can kind of come in and do their own thing. Then you could also have some people draw a big collage of indie VTubers, like in one good art piece, where it has like a bunch of them on there. And you know, there's a lot of things that can absolutely happen, but it's really just going to come down to the sheer willpower of whoever's left in the indies that does not want to go corporate and wants to do everything that they can to absolutely dominate in the field that they are in. So really, there's a lot of things that you can do, but it's going to come down to, you know, how it's done and how people are going to receive you, if you can find that audience or not, and, you know, just a bunch of other things too. But Again, I really want to make this video as some type of wake-up call for the indies to not be outclassed by the corporate VTubing people, much less don't let them be the only one that's pretty much taking everything that you wanted, like whoop they ass for it. Clearly you obviously deserve it, especially you've been here for a very long time and trying to be doing that for a good while, so take what's yours. Obviously don't start no beef with nobody. We ain't got time for drama because obviously that's what killed the indie VTubing scene in the first place. But yeah, just show out. So that's pretty much what I wanted to cover for this one for today. So hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification on else. Also follow me on Twitter, and if you'd like to donate to the channel, Patreon is available as well. And until then, this is your boy Jay, sign off. Have a blessed day.